Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're going to be talking about Ultimate Spider-Man. So the story has been concluded. It has ended. Issue 24 has been dropped. The story is finished. Now, I know we will continue more of the Ultimate story with Ultimate Endgame, and recently it was announced Reborn Ultimate Impact. I thought that title for that comic book sounded pretty funny. I saw online people were saying how it's just a bunch of random adjectives combined, and of course they had to throw the word ultimate in there just to make it relevant to the Ultimate series of stories. I just want to give my 2 cents on what we thought about the overall Ultimate Spider-Man comic story from issues 1 to 24. Now, personally, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, so I thoroughly enjoyed the story. I had a huge blast reading every single issue. So you can totally imagine how much it was killing me when they announced that for the very last issue, number 24, that they were going to postpone it by an extra month. I was like, damn. Now, from the sounds of it, I haven't dug way too deep into it, but it does seem like the Ultimate comic series just cuts off. It just ends out of nowhere. And even the writers and artists were confused. So I can totally see why they had to postpone the very last issue to probably rewrite some things. All things considered, issue number 24 was pretty fun. I liked how it ended. That sucker totally had me on the edge of my seat. As far as the overall story goes, it totally feels like there was a lot of potential. None of it was thoroughly executed or very much explored. There was just a lot of really cool moments, like dang, I don't want to spoil it for anyone. There was just a lot of really cool moments, but as far as following it up with a lot of just detail and lore, I wish they could have dug deeper into that. All things considered, once again, I think it was a pretty good story. As far as the character goes, he totally needed a story like this. There was a lot of pretty cool twists, but I would have very much preferred if they did things very much differently as they're doing with the Absolute Universe. Like, in that universe, they're completely changing the DC lore. They're still keeping a lot of the familiar elements that you know about characters. I feel like with the Ultimate Spider-Man comic run specifically, that's the one that I was really caught up with, it seems like they were very much playing it safe. One of the things that I would consider to be probably, now that I'm thinking about it, a very good example of what would be a very good potential thing that they added to the story, but it was very much underutilized. That was, I believe, around, I think issue 13, 14? I could be wrong on this, honestly. My mind is so off these days. Anyways, if you are caught up with the story or not, it is the moment when they introduce the character Sandman. They only have one very quick confrontation with him. He was just introduced in one issue, and then he attacked them. They became sort of buddies for a brief moment, but then they never brought him back. And that's the thing about these characters. They only brought back multiple characters that they used in the main circle. But other characters, like Sandman and the Shocker, for example, another one, what the overall story did pretty well on was emphasize the Sinister Six, because I feel like the Ultimate Spider-Man story, this modern, 2024 story, it is heavily centered around the Sinister Six. Sure, we have the Maker doing his things in the background, and that's like the overall bigger evil. But as far as our boy Spider-Man goes, the dude's protecting his family in New York. He ends up escaping because we end up at a point where his family ends up in danger. They're throwing out ideas here and there, but they keep just revolving around the Sinister Six, and that was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Once again, I liked how issue 24 ended. Ultimate Spider-Man is overall a very solid Sinister Six story. Things go very well for our boy Peter Parker, and that is very rare to say. So if y'all are interested in a feel-good Spider-Man story, read Ultimate Spider-Man 2024. It's a good read. Anyways, I appreciate y'all for listening to me yap about my thoughts on Ultimate Spider-Man. If you enjoyed this video at any point, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll be catching y'all next time. Take it easy. Peace.